WTLA North Syracuse, WSGO Oswego, W249BC Mattydale, W261AC Oswego, WTKWHD2 Bridgeport, ESPN Radio. This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, highlighting all of Section 3, interviewing the greatest local coaches and athletes. Brought to you by SummitCars.com, broadcasting in the ESPN studios. Here's your host, Mike Bristol, and Eagle Newspapers' Phil Blackwell.
All right, here we are on the Inside High School Sports Show. Thanks for joining us. Great Saturday morning here in central New York. Great program for you. We're going to kick things off with our Aflac Spotlight interview. Jordan-Elbridge girls track and field coach Ryan Hannon. In a week where many different teams and many different sports claimed titles they had earned many times before, Jordan-Elbridge girls track and field team reached a new pinnacle. The Eagles made its way to its first ever Section 3 championship when it won the Class B2 sectional meet. And then Tuesday at Holland Patton, and even more impressively, it did so beating Casanovia's side as it lost to a head-to-head in the regular season. So we're going to talk to head coach Ryan Hannon, catch up with him a little bit later in the program. We're also going to talk to Diane Kupperman from Make-A-Wish Foundation and talk about their tournament at Tuscarora Country Club. And at the moment, we look at, things returning to normal, talk a little bit about Make-A-Wish. We're also going to talk about the great grand opening of Apex is happening. So that's going to be great to talk with Robert about that, who is one of the marketing coordinators and directors at Apex. We're going to chat with him about that. We're also going to talk to Lieutenant Dickens a little bit. And, of course, we're going to get Phil Blackwell on and go right through the top 10. So that's how we do things. Before we move on and go top 10, before we talk to some of the high school coaches, we're going to get right into Apex, talk to Robert, and kind of talk a little bit about the grand opening. Robert, how are you? Welcome to the program. Great to have you on, bud.
Yeah, great to be here, and I appreciate you having us on for a few minutes.
So, Robert, what's been going on? So tell me a little bit about crazy times. I mean, it's been unbelievable. Tell me about like this 12 to 18 to 24-month run that you guys have been experiencing in business.
Well, we first had to close there in Destiny in March of 2020, and obviously we were mandated to do so. When we got the okay to reopen, which was in the fall, we attempted to do so. So for some of you may recall, we were open for a short period, but with the way the restrictions were, we just couldn't maintain being open because we couldn't even, for example, have our arcade open and a couple of our attractions. So unfortunately, we made the decision to suspend things at the time. And then when we finally got the go-ahead to be able to reopen, we had to get the building back into shape and essentially restaff it. That was one of the issues that we encountered. But now we're ready to roll and looking really forward to opening this coming Wednesday.
Yeah, so I see that. It's a grand opening here Wednesday, June 16th at 3 p.m. I also know one of my good buddies and one of the guys I represent, Adrian Autry, is going to be out there to hang out with you guys for a little bit.
Yeah, we wanted to just make the reopening a little more special for our guests. I mean, the first 50 people that come through the door are going to get a little swag bag from Apex, a chance to win a prize wheel. We're looking forward to having Coach Autry there on hand as well to basically open the gates for us and with us and greet our guests that are there from approximately 3 to 5 p.m.
When you actually go to Apex and you walk inside and you look at this gigantic, I don't know what it is, 50, 60,000 square feet of obviously fun and entertainment. I mean, talk about that. 24 bowling lanes, arcade, laser tag, bumper cars, all the video games. I mean, newest attractions, axe throwing. It's everything.
Well, Apex, we just like having something really for everybody to do, but all under one roof. The arcade is always popular because anybody plays arcade games, but just having the bowling and our newest attraction is the axe throwing that has yet to be debuted. That'll be debuting on Wednesday. That took the place of a different attraction, but the kids, everybody likes laser tag, bumper cars. I mean, it's an ideal location with our meeting space for corporate outings, for birthday parties, really any kind of outing on that note. But also just a couple people want to go out and hang out, have some food on the bowling lanes, and to spend a few hours with us. I think pretty much there's plenty to do there at Apex.
I was impressed with the meeting space too. I think it's the largest that the mall offers. But you're right in terms of like events and corporate parties, birthday parties, all that kind of stuff. I mean, plus what I was surprised when visiting and going there too is you have kind of like the area where it might be a little bit noisy, et cetera. Then you go into one of these meeting rooms and it's quiet. It's pretty incredible.
It really is. And, we just really look forward to getting people back to where they're comfortable and having outings again. We're noticing it in our Massachusetts location since the guidelines had, opened up a little sooner. So even this past week in Massachusetts, we've had some corporate outings during the day where they have a nice outing nice meeting together as a group, and then they'll go bowl or go have some food and a couple drinks and then hang out. So I think everybody's really looking forward to just, again, getting back to normal. I hate to be cliche, but that's really the best way to say it. So.
Yeah. So again, it's obviously a grand opening on the 16th here on Wednesday. You're going to kick things off at 3:00. Coach Autry will be there from the Syracuse University basketball team, assistant associate head coach, which will be great to have Adrian out there. And then you're just kind of other promotions going on. What else is happening that day?
Well, we're going to have a chance. We have a prize wheel, so there'll be a chance to win. There's one $250 gift card to Apex.
Nice.
And there's just a bunch of other prizes, a free attraction, probably some free food options. So just, again, we just want to say thank you, welcome our guests back to us. And we're just looking forward, going forward now to, making it the place that it was when we first reopened in December of 2018, and we're able to maintain it until we had to close last March. But, we just want to welcome everybody back, let everybody know we're there and fully functioning, fully operational. So
we got to get a bowling tournament out there, 24 lanes. I got to talk to Coach and get a little Boeheim Foundation golf tournament going on at Apex. I think that'd be a blast.
Anytime, Mike. We'd be certainly happy to put that together. I mean, and that's a great segue. It's certainly a great place to do a charity fundraising event as well. I mean, we've done them in the past, so we even have the opportunity on the days that we're closed. For now, we're going to be still closed Mondays and Tuesdays. So we're using that as a perfect opportunity for a buyout from a company, for example. Then you have the whole 50,000 square feet to yourself.
Robert, now you at Apex, kind of community relations, PR, marketing, kind of handling a handful of different things, right?
That's correct. I'm the community relations manager, and we have 4 locations now. Our original one in Marlborough, Massachusetts, then one in Albany and Cross Gates, Syracuse, obviously, in Destiny, and we did open one in Virginia Beach last year. Despite COVID, we were able to get it open. And I work it for all locations, and again, we just try to come up with different promotions, work with different area charity events and sports leagues, and I mean, just really anybody that's looking to partner with us, we can always offer somebody something on top of what they do on their end. So it's, like I said, it's basically a great place to that we can partner and use everything that we have to offer, and it's an ideal location for somebody to work with us if they'd like to. Well,
it's been a pleasure getting to know you and spending some time. Obviously, having you on the program, I want to do so with the high school sports show. Obviously, families and everybody that would enjoy and can now go back to Apex, which will be great. Again, Wednesday, the 16th here, 3 p.m. Coach Autry will be out there. And it's nice that you're opening doors and getting things rolling again. It's just nice to see the normalcy across the board, not only with you, but with a lot of these other businesses as well.
No doubt. And we certainly welcome everybody to come back. If you've been to Apex before, that's great. Welcome back. If you haven't been to Apex, please check us out. It's certainly something that's a really unique space for you to come and really just have a great time.
All right, here's your last question. What's your favorite first arcade game at Apex, and what's your favorite food item on the menu? Two quick ones. I want to see what you like.
Well, arcade, I guess I'm old school. I just like Pac-Man or just to do something like that.
Yeah, I'm there.
But I'm honestly a sucker for mozzarella sticks, and ours are really good.
All right, beautiful. So. Great to have you on. Again, everyone check it out. Obviously, the 16th here, this Wednesday, opening up at 3 p.m. You go out, meet Coach Autry, get an autograph or hang out a little bit, ask some questions, talk some hoops if you want to. Otherwise, spin the prize wheel, bunch of prizes out there. And then also just the fact, go have some food, go enjoy some bowling, go play some games. I can't wait to do the axe throwing. So that's something I want to check that out. That's pretty cool.
Sure. All right. Sounds great, Mike. Thank you.
Appreciate you having on. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Stay well. Take care. Have a good weekend.
All right. Our good friend Robert from Apex on the program. And we'll be right back. When we come back, we're going to talk Make-A-Wish. Diane Kepperman right here on the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, broadcasting here. ESPN Studios. It's ESPN Radio 97.7 and 100.1.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, back on the program. Great show for you. Diane Kupperman, Make-A-Wish Foundation. Diane, how are you?
I'm great, Mike. How are you?
Nice to have you on. You got to be excited.
I am excited. It's a beautiful day. Things are reopening. Apex is reopening.
I know. You got to be fired up with that. I know.
I am fired up with that.
So let's talk about it. Obviously, tournament at Tuscarora, good friends, Nick Masterpole, the rest of the crew over at Tuscarora do a great job, great sponsor here on the program. I go at this moment, life slowly returning, as we just mentioned, to normal here. Talk about Make-A-Wish and talk about, I guess, 2020, but now 2021 for us.
Well, thanks, Mike. It's been quite a year for everybody, certainly, as we know, and we are completely looking forward to the 34th annual Make-A-Wish Open, and Tuscarora did such a great job for us last year. We are so excited to have so many of our sponsors back. You know, Baco Controls and Upstate Biometrics were with us through the pandemic and before, and they're sticking with us after. And, you know, it's interesting because last year we had no idea if we'd be able to have a golf tournament. So, you know, being at Tuscarora in the middle of this COVID-19 and now as we reemerge, it really seems to be the perfect bookends as everybody returns to normal, and certainly is a big deal for us in helping make wishes come true.
You know, give us some of the those wishes, some examples that the foundation hopes to fulfill over the course of the next few months here.
Oh, my gosh. Well, the next few months are going to be very busy for us. We have, just in June alone, we have 9 wishes that are going to be completed. Everything from campers to bedroom makeovers to swimming pools and hot tubs. We have backyard play sets in the mix. It's just been gaming systems, virtual shopping sprees. The kids have reimagined their wishes, and we're just lucky that we've been able to continue to say yes to the wishes that we could do locally and safely for these kids. Our pipeline is still building up, of course, with travel off the table. There's a lot of kids that are on hold. We have 89 kids who were affected by COVID that are still on hold that we're working through. So it's a big few months for us, and coming into our next fiscal year, which will kick off with the Make-A-Wish Open at Tuscarora, we have a lot of catching up to do and a lot of kids who are waiting for their wishes.
And how do people sign up for the tournament?
You know, they can go on our website. They can send us an email. They can reach out to us at info@makeawishcny.wish.org. It's $250 a golfer or $1,000 a foursome. A lot of our favorite things are still coming back. You know, those Hafner's burgers at the turn and Onondaga beverage, keeping us cool and hydrated.
That's right.
And, of course, the generosity of Tuscarora. And like you said, Mr. Masterpole and Peter Capuselli have just been phenomenal to work with.
You know, while each wish grant is special in its own right, are there one or two or a few that were very important to you personally or vivid that were just so powerful?
Well, like you said, all the wishes are as unique and individual as the kids who make them, and since they're coming from their heart, each one is incredible. Over the course of the last year, you know, a couple have stuck out. You know, Caden's wish to help people who were food insecure, and we got great support from the Jim and Julie Boeheim Foundation, and we were able to partner with the Food Bank of Central New York, and that wish was really extraordinary because Caden just felt that he was doing well, and he, has this bright future in front of him, and he wanted to give back. There were so many people affected, and especially kids and people who are hungry. So that one, especially over the course of the last year, our community, as you know, Mike, we live in one of the most generous regions in the country. I'd match us up to any community across the country with our spirit of community and generosity and how many organizations are supported. But that Caden's wish was really extra special at a time, especially when people needed to come together and feel good.
Really beautiful. Where can people go for more information about Make-A-Wish and also specifically to help the New York chapter here?
They can look, again, our website is cny.wish.org. We'll have events coming up that they can sign up for. We need volunteers year-round. We're always looking for board members who want to lend leadership and create broader impact in our community and in the 15 counties that we serve. So much of it is on our website, again, at cny.wish.org. They can give us a jingle at 475-WISH. That's 475-9474. And, of course, it's really easy to ask us any questions at info@cny.wish.org.
So tell me about your Saturday, Diane. What are you up to?
Hey, my Saturday is up to, well, it's a beautiful Saturday here. It's going to be filled with yard work. I've got 8 yards of mulch sitting in my yard, and my daughter wants to paint her room. So I think we're going to have a pretty packed weekend. But, it also is a quiet weekend to be able to reflect on how grateful I am, not only for, my blessings that I have, but certainly for this incredible community and the more than 200 kids that are in our pipeline, and knowing that we'll be able to say yes to them because of this great community in which we live. And be watching, because this week, Dolly, who is a Dallas Cowboys fan, his Dallas-themed makeover bedroom is going to be revealed on June 15th. Nice. And thanks to our friends at Sleep Number, he's going to be sleeping in style as well as, having his own Dallas Cowboys-themed bedroom in style.
I love it. Diane, awesome job, incredible work. Thank you for coming on. Love having you on.
Sure, Mike. Thanks so much.
Diane Kupperman doing beautiful, beautiful work. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk to my good friend, Colonel Dickens, ESPN Radio 97.7, 100.1.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
The Colonel. What's up, Colonel? Colonel, you there? What is up?
I am here. How you doing?
What's happening?
Not much. We're just getting ready to celebrate the Army's birthday here coming up.
That was going to be one of my questions. I know you guys are wrapping up National Hiring Days as well. So big birthday coming up. Talk about the Army birthday. What happens? Tell me about the celebration. Obviously, the years and years of the greatest tradition of men serving and women serving our country.
Yeah, so we have 246 years coming up here. We actually, obviously the Army was formulated before the country was even born, specifically with the Continental Congress bringing us together and creating an Army. And so we're getting ready to take some of our community partners and go over to Clear Path here out in Chittenango and just recognize it for just a few moments, cut a cake and celebrate with our community partners, Army individuals. It'll be also illustrated there, and we'll just enjoy that for what the Army's done for us.
Oh, yeah. And obviously wrapping up Army National Hiring Days and bringing attention to that, I have to. Talk a little bit about, all of the hiring and recruiting and that whole process and just how exciting it's been.
Oh, it's been great. We've been going to different venues, and then we've tried to showcase specifically different jobs out there that the Army has. As you mentioned, over 150 different jobs we have. We have some priority jobs out there right now. There's 11 different military occupational specialties that we've been concentrating on. The most need that the Army is looking for right now. Some fantastic different jobs out there with bonuses that are tied to those for people that sign up right now to look at those opportunities. I had a chance last week. It was great to go out to Colorado Springs, out to a post that I was assigned to back in early 2000s. It had been 17 years since I'd been out there to talk with educators and individuals about the Army, and it was a great time out there. got to see the Golden Knights come in. I know we had mentioned about getting you a tandem jump coming up. Maybe we'll get you out there.
Life insurance, and I'm going to get squared away with that, and then I'm good to go.
Awesome. No, we had a fantastic time out there.
I'm kidding. I think that would be that experience of doing a tandem jump with the professionals, and it is going to be an unbelievable experience.
That is awesome. We got to see these individual Golden Knights out there, and they told us how many jumps they had done, and it was fantastic. Some of them have thousands of jumps that they've done. Yeah, they're really impressive. And then we were also out there. That's where the World Class Athlete Program is stored for the Army, and we talked with the modern pentathlon athletes and got to shoot these weapons they use now, our laser weapons. Got to do that and see how those work. We talked to the wrestlers and taekwondo and boxers out there. Wow. It was really fantastic. These are Olympians that are going to this year's games, some of them, so it was pretty fantastic.
All that you get to experience and all that you have experienced and all the places you've traveled and everything you've done, everything you've seen, I mean, you just can't get that anywhere else. It really is unbelievable.
It really is. You get unique experiences that pop up, and then they, you get to go out there and experience things that you wouldn't think you would have, ever dreamed that you would be able to do. And, just out of a couple of weeks of planning, then you go out there and you experience that, and you're really impressed by all the people that you meet across the country and the world.
I think you nailed it on the head too, because you talk about different cultures, you talk about ethnicities, you talk about traveling and learning different foods, different technologies, different everything. Just be able to kind of touch, taste, feel, see all this kind of stuff, experience it all. It is truly amazing. That's why I always bust you guys' chops. I'm too old to do anything. Otherwise, I'd be in the reserves or doing something. Plus the camaraderie and hanging out with your boys. And, I love all that,
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that keeps people, that are really drawn to it. And, I'll say that I had that experience as well with the active Army. I had, after my initial years as a junior officer, went into the reserves, and you still got the camaraderie there, and then I came back in active, and that's the real draw right there. Is you can't get that anywhere else, I don't think.
Well, obviously, it's always a blast having you on. Great insight, like usual. Tremendous Army birthday and wrapping up all the job stuff, which has been great for you guys. So thanks so much for popping on. We'll talk to you here in a few weeks.
Well, I appreciate it, and thanks so much.
The man, the Colonel. All right, we'll talk to you later. Thanks, Colonel.
All right, have a good one.
You
thanks,
too.
Mike.
Colonel Dickens on the program. We'll be right back. We're talking Jordan-Elbridge next. ESPN Radio 97.7 and 100.1.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
Visit atlasfence.com or my good friend Chris Palomino, 463-9207. atlasfence.com, ornamental, chain link, cedar fence, all types of wood fences, beautiful. All residential type fencing, incredible job they do. The best of craftsmanship, construction, and work. You got to check out Chris Palomino, Atlas Fence, 463-9207. Another quick thing, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm going to have to do here is talk about... There we go. That's it. All right, we've got our Affleck Spotlight interview, and with our good friend of the program, Ryan Hannon, that Phil lined up. Coach, how are you?
Good. How you doing today?
Good to have you on. So let's get right to it. You look at, I guess, different teams, different sports, claim titles they've earned many times before. Jordan-Elbridge girls track and field team, obviously reaching a new pinnacle here. Talk about the Eagles making its way to the first ever Section 3 championship. You won the Class B2 sectional meet Tuesday at Holland Patton. It's got to be great for you, the community, as well as all the kids.
It was awesome. I've been coaching there for 11 years. 10, I guess, if you take out the pandemic last year. We've been close, 3 or 4 times in the past, and we just couldn't quite break through. We've always had smaller teams, and it's tough. You get to sectionals, and usually the teams that win have 20, 25 girls there, and, I'd have 7 or 8. We're still, we were still battling. So this year I had 8 girls. All 8 of them scored, and 7 of them scored in multiple events. So it really was a whole team effort, and just really proud of the girls and all the hard work they put in.
You know, talk about being close a few years back, obviously 3 or 4 different times, but I guess at what point this season for Jordan-Elbridge track and field did the goal of a sectional championship really enter the picture of your top athletes?
Honestly, the first couple weeks of the season, I wasn't quite sure that we could pull it off. I think a couple weeks in, we started to show some huge improvements. I had a senior girl, Jazzy Stevenson, came over from lacrosse. She decided not to play lacrosse this year. And Kyler Langhorn, another senior for me, didn't run through the last couple of years. She was doing some AAU basketball and decided to give track one last go. And those girls, once I saw them in action, and we got healthy, and it started to turn around. I thought we had a pretty good shot. So, but it probably about midway through the season, it started to become a pretty good possibility.
I guess let's talk about you won. Other meets in the regular season. Cazenave, though, got you that 93-47 on the 19th. Did you think at that time you could beat them at the sectionals?
I still thought we could. Track is an odd sport because it's the only sport where the scoring changes in the postseason. So the way that you score a dual meet in the regular season, just not to get too far off in the weeds, but they score the first 3 places, and there's relays. You score the first place relay. Well, at sectionals, they score the first 6 places, and it allows teams with more talent, maybe not the numbers, to be competitive still. So my number one distance girl, Vasi Klock, actually pulled her hamstring in the first race.
Oh, wow.
And I had to pull her from the rest of the meet. And at that point, I just called off the dogs. I said, we could get close if everybody's healthy. And just with such a small team, there's just no margin for error. So that day, I just said, you know what, really? We're going to focus on a couple things, and we'll be ready. From that point on, we really just were focused on getting healthy and being ready for the postseason. So,
you talked about Vasi, not to cut you off, but winning 3 distance races, 1,500, 800, 2,000. I mean, you knew she was good, but how impressive was that?
It was awesome. I knew she was going to be good, and last year she just really took off. She flipped the switch, and she's one of the best distance runners I've ever had. She's a great distance runner. She's a hardworking kid. Normally sectionals takes about 4 to 5 hours because it's usually a co-ed meet. And this year, just, with the pandemic and everything, they decided to do just the girls and the boys separately. And we were done in under 2 hours. So she ran all those races in less than 2 hours, where she would normally have double that, to rest in between. So it was a challenge. The heat and the humidity was starting to catch up to everybody. So it was definitely an accomplishment for her.
Well, think about it, too. Then it spread. I mean, her success and all the winning spread to winning the 4x100 relay. Your sophomore there, Coral, running in the event in the 400-meter dash. I mean, how much better can she get?
She's got a lot of potential. She actually was hurt a little bit in the fall, so she missed a lot of time in the fall. Huh. And then she just started training. And the reason I had her running shorter distances is because she just wasn't in shape to run the 1,500 or the 3,000 because she just hadn't really been able to run. So I said, she had a lot of speed, and I said, let's just do short, fast stuff, and we'll work our way back into shape, and we'll be fine. And she really surprised me. We ran at West Hill at a meet. She ran about a 61 second 400, and I knew she was fast. I didn't think she was that fast. And she came back at sectionals and did it again. So it was no fluke. So she's got a great future.
Right, definitely. And then wins also came from, I think, Kyler Langhorn in the triple jump and Tatiana in the high jump. I mean, everyone really kind of feeding off each other's performances.
They did. And like I said, it was a total team effort. And without those girls, it would not have been possible. I mean, it's when you only have 7 or 8 kids, pretty much every time you step on the track or onto the runway, you have to win. There's no option. So Tyler actually rebounded it at the league meet. She got 4th in the triple jump and kind of had an off day, and she was able to overcome that and come back strong at sectionals and win the whole thing. So I'm really proud of her. So it was a great way to end her senior year.
Talking Jordan-Elbridge track and field, Coach, take us through the moment where you absolutely knew you had won the sectional championship and had done it for the first time in program history.
It was just before the steeplechase. It was after the 4x4 relay. I started looking at the scores, and I started getting the field event scores coming in, and I knew that we had sealed the deal. So it was just a formality. And, I kind of told the girls, I had Hannah Fichter, my senior, and Vasi, I said, you guys, we don't have to run this. We've already got the points. And, they were really struggling in the heat. I said, no, Coach, we want to do it. So just before the steeplechase, I had a pretty good idea that we'd put it away for good. So,
you look at overall track and field. Talk a little bit about the competition and how good it was and all the great athletes out there.
It's funny because this year there were 26 schools in Class B. So we split between B1 and B2. And the competition's fierce. I mean, it's kind of the same with girls lacrosse. There's Westville, there's Skinny Atlas, there's Marcellus, who's always good. So there's a lot of good teams. And, Clinton comes in from the Mohawk Valley, and it's really a struggle to win anything in girls Class B. Just trying to get to the state meet. We've had to go, a couple of years ago, I had a relay team make the state meet, and we got beat by Skinny Atlas, who broke the Section 3 record just before us. It's like, what do we have to do here to get past these guys? So it was a good feeling to finally break through. I mean, there's a lot of talent in girls Class B and track and field. So, and you'll see that at the state level too in a normal year. So,
and talk about the future of Jordan-Elbridge and what's next for you and the kids.
I'm usually the guy on the bus ride back who's already thinking about next season, and I had to make the choice to shut it off for a few days. I had so many sleepless nights this season. So I'm only graduating 3 seniors, so they're very talented seniors, though, so they're going to be tough to replace. But just trying to build up numbers and get some more kids in the program. And I think we'll be pretty successful next year. Too early to speculate if we could repeat or not, but there's definitely a lot of talent still in the program, so I'm looking forward to next year with those girls.
Well, obviously, congratulations. Tremendous job. Great to have yourself on, and great job with the kids and Jordan-Elbridge and the community in general. So congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, Coach. Have a good one. Thanks for coming on the program.
All right. Thank you for having me. Good luck.
All right, nice to talk Jordan-Elbridge track and field. When we get back, we're going to talk to the guru, Phil Blackwell, who's live on location covering all of these events and all these championships. We'll be right back. Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show presented by SummitCars.com, ESPN Radio 97.7 and 100.1.
By SummitCars.com.
All right, we got the great Phil Blackwell, the guru, on the program, who's live on location. 20 sectional finals taking place today. Boys lacrosse, girls lacrosse, baseball, softball. All exciting. Phil, what's going on?
We just had the 45 seconds left in regulation. Molly DeSimone score for Baldwinsville to tie the sectional final against CNS 11-11. And there's a draw right now as we speak to see who might win this in the end of regulation, or we might have overtime. So, yeah, there's a little drama going on.
A little drama and excitement. You can keep things going here for us. Let's go right through it. We got Class A. Let's talk boys lacrosse first. West Jenny, Baldwinsville, they're going to be playing here in about a half an hour, 12:30. Both teams 3 times this season have competed. Bees having won all of them, but each game was closer than the one before. The last 7-6 decision on the 22nd. Phil, that's going to be a nice one.
Yeah, I think with West Tennessee, they had a tough semifinal game against CNS. They know they got to take it up to a higher level against Baldwinsville, but they had improved every time they played them, and so we'll see what happens in this one.
Class B, you got ESM and Fayetteville Manlius. They kick things off at 11. These neighbors didn't meet during the season. The Hornets have entered the national top 25 of U.S. Lacrosse Magazine, are heavy favorites, having gotten beaten against Class A teams in the SCAC Metro Division.
Yeah, with FM, they've been the strongest team, I think, in the all season in Central New York with those wins over Baldwinsville, those 3 wins. It's a tall task for ESM. They're going to have to play their best game of the season.
Class C, CBA, and Janesville DeWitt. That's at 5 p.m. When these teams met on the 1st of May, JD pulled out a 12-10 victory, and of course, these sides met in 2019. Sectional final when the Red Rams won 12-9. So can the brothers get payback even after a midseason coaching change? We'll have to see.
Yeah, with CBA, they were very impressive in the semifinals on Thursday when they were down 3-0 to Homer and then dominated the rest of that game to win. They know they played JD close early. The Reverends don't have a deep roster, but what they have is a ridiculous amount of skill. And that's what they're going to have to count on, and they should be favored still, but CBA can beat them. By the way, we're going to overtime.
Overtime it is, all right. Class D and boys lacrosse, Lafayette versus West Hill. That's at 4 p.m. today. The Warriors are the top seed and beat the Lancers 11-8 a couple weeks ago. Lafayette also lost to Skinny House late in the season, then got pummeled the Lake, then pummel, the Lakers 17-6 in the sectional semifinals. So that's going to be a good one as well.
Yeah, well, that is weird because Lafayette 2 years ago when they won the state championship beat a lot of teams that they lost to during the season, and now they're trying to win the sectional title. They're trying to do exactly the same thing. Westville's a strong defensive team, but Lafayette's got as much skill as any team in Central New York, and that's tough to stop.
All right, girls across, Phil, obviously at the Class A CNS Baldwinsville game, which is going into overtime. Also, Class B, we got FM versus Auburn. That has already started at 11 a.m. Each of the last two sectional Class B finals between these sides went to the Hornets here in girls across, but it's the Maroons who are perfect, 14-0, and have favored it finally earn a sectional crown here. We'll see what happens, Phil.
Yeah, and they're playing right now, and as of now, Auburn's got a 7-3 lead late in the first half over. After they were too early. But the Maroons have been maybe the strongest team in Central New York this season. The way they've just pummeled everybody, the way they've shown so much skill, it just seems like it's Auburn's year.
Class C, girls across, Janesville DeWitt versus Fulton at 11, so that's playing right now. Also an instance where the defending champions are the underdog. The Red Raiders twice beat the Red Rams in the regular season, one close, one lopsided, and they're looking for the first ever sectional title.
Yeah, I mean, Fulton, again, a team that only two losses this season were to JD or to Auburn, but they beat JD twice during the season. The first game was much closer than the second. The Red Rams had to really scramble to win their semifinal game over Homer a couple of nights ago, where Fulton had a much easier time of it. Let's see if that matters. Class
D, girls across, West Hill versus Skaneateles, that's at 4. And the Lakers are not just trying to earn another sectional title, but finish a perfect 15-0 season. West Hill lost to them 12-8 earlier in May, but were quite impressive, knocking off number 2 seed South Jeff. That was 15-8 in the semifinals.
Well, I'll tell you, West Hill did play Skaneateles close in the regular season. I believe it was a 12-9 game a little early. So maybe there was a hint of the thing. But Skaneateles, the tough part about facing them is that they're so deep, so balanced, and you don't know which player is going to hurt you. And that's what West Hill's got to try and solve this afternoon.
Let's talk some baseball. Class AA, West Jenny versus Baldwinsville at noon. Once again, the Bees are in the final as a better seed, just as 2019 when it lost FM. And the Wildcats are trying to finally end its long wait for its first sectional championship since way back in 1977.
Yeah, in this particular game, West Tennessee has the scenario they just won. They've got their best pitcher, Nick Jessen, going this afternoon. Beeville, they used their ace to get to the semifinal game with RFA, and we'll see how their pitching goes. But it should be low scoring and close. The 3 games they played this season were that way. The Bees won 2 of them, but this is anyone's game.
Class A, CBA versus Auburn at noon. Both teams got here in baseball. Dramatic wins. The brothers outlasting New Hartford in 10 innings and rallying past top seed Cortland, the Maroons, by holding out defending champion Whitesboro.
Yeah, Mike Schaefer has been the man for CBA. He pitched in the 10th inning and hit the walk-off home run to beat New Hartford. Then he got 2 RBIs in the 7th inning, helping him come back and beat Cortland. Does he have more magic on them as they go to Falcon Park and play the Maroons?
Class B1, Homer versus Camden at 4:30. What a story here as a Trojans coach, Rob Nazraka, beat prostate cancer. His team knocked off West Hill and top seed South Jeff to get there. The Blue Devils survived a tense 3-2 semifinal over Marcellus.
Yeah, Homer is the kind of team that is classic, peaking at just the right moment. They've been very impressive the last month of the season, and it'll be tough for Camden because the Trojans have such momentum.
Class B2, Holland Patton versus Skaneateles at noon. The Lakers, who claimed a 14-winning epic over West Hill in 2019. Section Class B final are back trying to stop the Gaelic Knights side that rallied late to stern top seed Cavs and end those Lakers' 14-game win streak.
For the Holland Patton, because Cavs have been rolling through the last month or so, and HP stopped it. Now Skaneateles, a team different from the one that won the title 2 years ago, but they've been consistent all season, and they're playing at home. Let's see if that matters.
Class C1, Port Byron versus Cooperstown, 4:30, end of the Hall of Fame. The Hawkeyes, having survived a wild 10-9 semifinal over Pulaski, now meets another strong OHSL Patriot Division team in the Panthers, who only allowed 1 run in those playoff games.
Yeah, Port Byron, very, very impressive pitching so far in the tournament. But Cooperstown's a team with experience, having won the sectional title 2 years ago.
Class C2, Beaver River versus West Canada at noon. Can the Indians complete a perfect 14-0 season after edging Morrisville Eaton here in boys baseball 4-3 in the semis? The Beavers have played 20 games and gone 18-2, toppling Weedsport. in the semis.
I can't remember many baseball teams going undefeated. What West Canada's done has been so impressive. But Beaver River played more games this year. That could really, I mean, they're much more. They might be a little more seasoned.
Class D, DeRuyter, Pollen, Patton, Noon, and another good one. The Tornadoes could sweep both the baseball and softball sectional finals, but the Rockets, the number 9 seed in 9-team field, have won 3 times to get this far, including an upset over top seed Lime.
It's doubtful that DeRuyter is going to fear anything the way they've run through this sectional tournament so far, being the 9th seed in the 9-team field. But Poland trying to pull off the baseball-softball double because they're hosting both Class C finals today.
Real quick, Phil, softball. We've got Class AA Liverpool versus CNS at noon. What can you tell us about that?
The 3 times CNS played this season, they won them all easily, but Liverpool's been an impressive team the last month. They had a much easier semifinal than CNS did, only 4-2 over ball. So maybe Liverpool can give them a fight this time as CNS tries to finish an undefeated season.
All right, Class A in softball, Auburn versus JD at noon. What do you got, Phil?
Well, Auburn's coach actually had her baby last night.
Nice.
So
wow.
Congratulations to her.
Yeah.
But you have to watch the game, obviously, and watch the team try to knock off a JD side they couldn't beat twice during the season. JD's got such a potent lineup.
Class B Oneida versus the mighty Marcellus Mustangs, 2:30.
This should be maybe the best game of the day. Oneida, they've proven themselves time and time again, but Marcellus only has 1 loss all season and has a great lineup and trying to win 4 games in 5 days, something like that.
Class C, Pulaski, Cooperstown softball, 1 p.m.
Yep, Pulaski, a very impressive run. Cooperstown has some close games so far, needed to survive a tough semifinal, but here they are.
Class D, real quick, Ludden versus Poland at 3 p.m.
Ludden scored 54 runs in their 3 games to get this far, and they won't fear Poland in any way, even though Poland's been state ranked.
All right, live in location, Phil Blackwell. Phil, thanks so much, buddy. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
The guru, Phil Blackwell, here on the Athletic Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, always giving the greatest of insight. We'll see you next week. Wrapping things up. Thanks for joining us. For my producer, Jordan, and for Blake Bristol in studio hanging out. We'll see you next week. This is the Athletic Insurance Inside High School Sports Show. It's presented by SummitCars.com. It's ESPN Radio 97.7 and 100.1.